Well. Look at the consequences of our actions, Vax. You have weird PTSD, and Vex doesn't feel a thing.
Didn't he really not do anything and has to suffer with this, what do they call it,
Vestige. Again, the person who really only knows Campaign 2 stuff, Annie.
Well, you're not supposed to relate it back to the series. I'm Minty.
And it's FunUntitled where we serve every podcast with an FU. Now, okay, I say this genuinely. I do like these 3 episodes the most out of like any batches of episodes. I think a lot happened. I think there's a lot of variety and action. It was pretty when Vax was going whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. I just wish I knew these characters a little bit more before we went into every single Tom, Dick, and Harry's backstory. Because I understand it's a short series. We can't delve too much into it. I feel like they told me maybe Keyleth is anxious and worried. We are now going to tell you everything about her. And I'm like, okay, couldn't really get emotionally attached, but thank you.
To be fair, this isn't supposed to be like no Emmy-nominated award show. This is just them living their fantasy, going for a cash grab.
Well, I don't really see it as a cash grab. I see it as them just being very self-indulgent and like being like, I think the fans will enjoy this.
Oh, because they're doing all of this just for enjoyment. They're not taking a single penny out of nothing.
Well, when they did the Kickstarter episode, they only wanted 2 episodes at first. It's not like they were like, we can definitely sell this to Amazon. And then they were like gobsmacked when like they got 12 mil on the Kickstarter. And so, but like, I understand, but like, I don't think new viewers can watch this. Like, I'm barely keeping up with all the spoilers I know.
Why? I don't know anything and I'm enjoying it. Sometimes it's just for the ride, man. It's for the amusement of it all.
So let's go into like episode 4 where like we come back from the dead. Or if you're Vex, you know, you come back from, I guess you cut your ties with your brother. Whole Raven sequence where like, alright, Vex comes back to life, but she's no longer tied to you.
I'm very confused with these names, so just keep going. I lose track of who's Vex and who's Vax all the time.
Okay, I will make it easier for you. I will say only the classes from the rest of this episode.
Aren't they both rogues?
No, well, technically, yes, they're both rogues, but one's more of a ranger, just the bow and arrow. I think, if I remember correctly, I think Vex is 3 classes. No. Vex is only 2 classes, Vax is 3 classes. Because Vax is rogue, later on, paladin, and then druid. I know this because if you go to my online shop, just kidding.
In the description below.
No, okay, so the rogue is now tied to the raven. She's like the coronation of death. And I guess Vax is like plagues of visions beyond his comprehension. And like, he's just brooding all the time.
So the Raven Queen is a real god in D&D world.
Yes, I believe all the gods are real.
So the Critical Role does not have their own mythology.
I believe the only thing that they have themselves is a calamity.
What about the Asharis? Is that a D&D thing or a Critical Role thing?
I think that's a Critical Role thing.
Oh.
We'll get to that in episode 5 because I have some questions about the Ashari, but that's because I know I'm stupid. So
what is the Raven Queen besides the embodiment of the dead? Like the soul, I was gonna say Reaper.
All I know is that she has gold threads. That's her motif. So if you watch the opening, her gold thread like ties everyone together.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
It's like a thread of death?
I think destiny. Like
you
you're destined to die.
Same thing then.
But like I said, you know, the animation where Vax is like spinning over the tentacle monster, super cool.
That was cool. And I like the glowing of like the gold on the black and almost looking like feathers on himself. Why would the gold thread connecting the twins?
I don't know. That part I'm very confused at. That's the part where I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna hope there's a payoff later.
And then who was the guy dying in the bed that she was hanging over?
I do not know. I think that might have been the previous champion, Pervon. I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name. I just know his name from the joke they made about how his name sounds like pervert.
God.
So they say goodbye to the 2 guest NPCs. And before they go, Vex gets a Pokeball. Then Vex weirdly get really possessive over a broom that never belonged to her. Because I believe in the original campaign, a guest NPC gave her the broom. But in the animated series, Vex is kind of like, hey Scanlan, I know this is yours, but you did tell me to burn it, so I believe this is mine. And it's fucked up you tried to burn a witch's broom.
You know, one man's trash is another woman's treasure.
And then Scanlan's like, fuck you, and goes on the broom. It's like, hey, the volcano's erupting.
Hey, why is he the magic letter reader?
I don't know, that's just the role they gave him until Percy took it away in like episode 6. I think just to show that like Scanlan is somewhat smart.
Is he?
I said did somewhat, didn't I? And in episode 5, we deal with the fire Ashari. I don't know if it's racist or not that they look like Native Americans.
Whoa.
Like, one of them was clearly a Native American, right?
Whoa. We don't talk about that.
I feel like we didn't give Vax enough shit to be like, Keyleth, fuck your people. We're worried about the entire continent. And then Keyleth's like, well, fuck you too. I'm a bird now. Caw.
Yeah, she should transform more.
Apparently, I think the animation team admitted that they don't really have anyone on the team that can draw animals.
What?
So they have a hard time doing animals.
Then go find someone.
You know, fun fact, the Mighty Nine campaign was announced, and people were like, oh my god, Jester and Caleb never met a problem they couldn't solve by polymorphing. For those who don't know D&D spell, that means turning into an animal.
That's why they needed a druid on their team.
Can't believe Clay never got a level in druid.
And why should he?
He was the only cleric on the team. He couldn't lose that title. And then Keyleth kind of meets the lesbians. I forget. I think Aloha and...
Didn't we meet them in season 1?
Well, now we know that they're not dead.
They're all like judgmental and on the council and blah blah blah.
Voiced by that woman from Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Encanto.
What?
Yeah, the dwarf one is voiced by her. I forget her name. Stephanie?
Holy shit. I wonder she's a lesbian.
And they're like, yeah, you know that fire dragon? We fought them before. Now they're like, he got out, so we're just kind of helping here, I guess.
Yeah, what was the point of that? I was like, okay, and...
Now this is where I have some problems. Why is she the air Ashari, but she needs to master the 4 elements, and when the world needed her most, she vanished.
with anxiety.
Vanished like her mom.
To be fair though, Aang disappeared because he wanted to go fuck around, and he found out what happened.
So, like, is air Ashari just the most important Ashari, or does every Ashari tribe kind of like, you must go out now and master the 4 elements?
Maybe each one has the one avatar.
I hope so. That'd be funny.
All on their own little quests.
And then I guess Keyleth became a fire elemental at one point. Well, I was like, okay.
I like her red outfit now. It's cool. Matches her red hair.
I need some damn pop of color in this group, but
She's the red one.
we have blue, purple, and then brown.
And a lot of black.
A lot of black.
And whatever Grog is.
I don't even want to talk about Grog's problems. I'm just like, okay, so you're just dealing with the sword, and the sword's saying only one thing.
And he doesn't know the source of his powers.
Is it? I swear to God, if his source of his power is like friendship.
Friendship is magic. That's what Twilight Sparkle learned, and now Grog has to learn the next lesson.
I wish. I understand this is a short series. I understand I'm being too needy. I wish they had more scenes of just like the group bonding more, because I have no idea what Keyleth's relationship is with Grog.
Maybe they don't have a relationship.
I'm sure they do.
How would you know? You've never seen the campaign 1? All you think about is Mighty Nine.
Yeah, you know, when Keyleth lost her mom, I cried a little and said, that's a nice Mighty Nine reference.
Oh my god.
The other one brought it up. Because, like, I understand we have to, like, establish the main couples. That's why Keyleth is going to keep talking to Vax. Pike is going to keep talking to Scanlan, yada, yada, yada. But I'm like, hey, Grog, you're not really doing anything except talking to your sword. And it seems like Pike is the only one who gives a shit about you.
Maybe Pike and Grog is the real couple here, and so is Scanlan and the female twin.
Yes.
Vex.
Sorry, I meant to say that call them by their classes, didn't I? Promised you that.
Yeah,
And
you
I
broke
failed
that
you.
immediately. I keep looking around being like, okay, that one is, okay, we moved on. I don't gotta think about it no more.
In episode 6, they go see the Sphinx, which is the first Sphinx they met, boyfriend or mate, significant other. And I don't know why, but like, you have to hurt me in order for me to help you. I'm like, alright, so how are we gonna hurt this boy emotionally? Like, it's just a fucking cliche.
I wanted to see the 7 Gorgons. That would have been cool.
So did Grog. And, you know, Scanlan did the most Bard thing he could, and he gave the Sphinx heartbreak. Did you think that scene was cool? Or?
It was entertaining, I guess. That's all you can really ask for.
And then the dragon was like, I found you motherfuckers! You thought you could hide from me? Did that tiny man get a sword?
I like the dragon versus Sphinx fight. That was pretty cool.
I'm just like, hey Sphinx, what's your, shield?
How's he supposed to touch dragon if he's got a shield between him and the dragon?
Oh. I'm sad the Sphinx died.
What is the Sphinx? Is he like a god?
No, I think he's just a dude that knows everything. I think it's stupid that the Sphinx are like, yes, you cannot live without your sister. You are a failure, yada, yada, yada. But like, Scanlan, you must know true love. Like, hey Sphinx, either you generally don't know and you kind of just pick and choose what you know, or you're being an asshole right now.
Is there something about Scanlan's past that I'm supposed to know about?
Well, because then Scanlan just comes out and says, yeah, I don't have any true love. I think Scanlan goes through an arc in the campaign where he kind of confronts his friends being like, none of you give a shit about me. And like, we do, Scanlan. Name one thing about me. Well, you're short and you're horny. Fuck y'all, I'm leaving. And that's when Sam introduces his new character.
I thought it was something about he found his daughter or some shit.
That kind of goes into like they don't care about him and his family, so he just decides to go off with his daughter.
Didn't he abandon his daughter?
I don't think he knew she existed. I think it was a one-night stand.
That still counts as abandonment.
I
Whether
get.
you know or don't know.
I'm sorry, I forgot you're the commissioner of abandonment by omission. And so I think it's funny because I think he's a College of Lore, Scanlan. I could be wrong, but bards normally is known for like keeping history alive. That's why they sing songs and tell stories. So that's why he got the sort of like myth that like told him about all the secret weapons and stuff.
Oh yeah, are they all gonna have a
Vestige.
A vestige?
I think so. I think it'd be cool.
I mean, this is very similar. Okay, I don't know who came first, and this is obviously not the most unique plot, but it's like getting to like the Adventure Zone balance thing, right? Finding the hell did they call it?
I think they called it an artifact. Let's see, the umbrella. No, I don't know. The relics. They're the relics.
So it's just like, I don't know, the fetch quest of it all is kind of like, all right. I mean, unless something cool comes out of it. I mean, the animation's nice, but like, is the vestige that male twin has, did that like defeat the Raven Queen?
No, that's the thing with the druid was like, hey Rogue, you're working with the Raven's Queen powers now. Maybe you can ask her for help. And Rogue was like, fuck off. You rejected me in season 1.
Why don't they talk about the mythology more?
Who has the time?
I mean, it just seems like it's an important part of this plot now.
There was a YouTube video that explained the Calamity, and I was like, holy shit, I could have used this when I watched EXU Calamity. That's the one shot that they did. And so I do agree the Calamity is confusing. Like, I couldn't even tell you right now what it was.
Because I thought it was about the death of gods, right? The vestige defeated the gods.
Yeah.
But then they're all still alive.
I think there's two categories of gods. There's the regular gods and then the betrayer gods. And the betrayer gods was the one who was defeated and sealed away.
But the Raven Queen's a betrayer god.
Is she?
I thought she was. I thought you told me that.
I don't think so.
I don't know anything except what you've been telling me pieces here and there because you love sharing spoilers.
I don't think she's a betrayer god.
Oh, we'll look this up later.
So next batches of episodes, I guess they split up, and I guess that's like a subtle way of telling us, hey, this is when Ashley Johnson has to leave because she was on The Blind Side. I think The Blind Side got canceled because of COVID.
Oh, damn.
I don't. Ashley Johnson, I'm sure you can get more work. You're Ellie from Last of Us.
Damn.
So they split up, and I would say like the 4 conventionally hot people are now in the Feywild.
He kind of mentioned what the other vestige were, so they must be at a different vestige location or completely totally wild. Which I'm like, I didn't think she was sending them to the Feywild. I thought they were just going to get to safety.
Yeah, maybe 2 birds with 1 stone. Maybe because she can't transport any other way. Because the only way she can transport is via tree and in plane shifting.
So she freaked out so badly that she decided to go into the Feywild?
Well, because, like, you know, if you don't have a tree, your only other option is to plane shift.
You don't think she has a safety tree?
In a pocket?
I'm just saying, like, a tree she always thinks about, like, no, this tree will always be in a safe spot.
But she has to go to a tree A to get to tree B.
Oh.
So, you know, like, I love that tree. That's my happy place tree. Kiki, can you take us there? No, I can't. Like, you need wood here. No wood.
Like, maybe instead of a Pokeball, we should have got, like, a sapling.
Like a little bonsai tree. Like, oh, yeah, 1 foot at a time, everyone. Fuck you, Druid. So, until next episode, I hope that, I don't know, is it good that the cats are split up?
No.
Oh, I hope they get back together then. Alright, bye.